Yes, trauma changes us. And according to the experts, trauma from childhood is one that changes us the most, because it teaches us certain things that then we carry into our adulthood. I've been married and divorced, and I blamed myself so much, so very much, for having that experience, for going through that, for recognizing that I failed. According to society, I failed. But on the other hand, no, I didn't fail. I married at 16 to get away from my parents, who had taken my child from me after I'd been impregnated from a rape. I'd been beaten, abused verbally, sexually by my mother. I'd been beaten by my father. The lifestyle that they chose, which was one they chose after knowing each other only 28 days, they chose to be in the military. My father told me the only reason he really was happy that he was in the military, I know he liked the work, but he didn't like the person he married, and she was always sick, and so he stayed in, but he took as many TDYs as possible. Now, I didn't find this out till afterwards, after my mother had died. I didn't get any truth from my father until after my mother died, which is really tough because she was an alcoholic, a screaming alcoholic. I mean, she started breakfast with a 12-ounce glass, half full of vodka and half full of sangria wine. I mean, who does that? How do you take care of yourself like that? I mean, come on. And then she'd iron, and that meant she'd drink. She'd keep beer in the refrigerator and the freezer, and drink it all day while she was ironing. She didn't do much housework. I did almost all the housework from age 5 on. I was an only child, so there wasn't anybody else, and I had to strap her into all kinds of different things at night and get her out in the morning and take care of her, because Dad was usually gone. He took every TDY he could. These kinds of things. Now, I want to hear your story. I really want to hear your story. That's why I'm on the Zoom 4 times a week. You tell me when you can talk, and we'll talk. If I've got a caregiver, I'm ready to talk, because I've got 85-year-old man in a wheelchair to take care of. But I'm ready to talk to you about what you went through and how we can work through it, because I have. I mean, I can still feel what happened to me, but it doesn't cloud my life. I'm extroverted, I'm involved, I'm engaged. I want to take that and act as it's a gift because it makes me want to help other people so badly. Because I know how badly I suffered. I suffered so much because I blamed me. What did I do? How did I cause this? Why did my parents beat the crap out of me? I didn't have a penis. That was what my mother said. She wanted boys. She wanted 6 tall sons, and she got me. It took her 6 years to have me. But she was Rh negative, and their bloods were incompatible, and so there wasn't any way for them to have a live birth other than the first one. That's the way it works. The second one was a boy, and he was big and beautiful and died in 4 days. And it wasn't my fault, but she always blamed me. I was 18 months old. What was I supposed to do? How was I supposed to know what was going on? And then she hit the bottle, and that was it. I spent my life with her in a full-body brace, trying to take care of her, and she exploded at anything. I mean, anything. I really mean that. I mean, she never read to me. She never paid attention to me. She taught me one thing, and that's how to make banana bread. That was it. She didn't look at my report cards, wasn't interested in my art, just didn't have any interest in me. There was nothing there. And what's that supposed to do to you as a child? It changes the way your brain works. It changes the way you think about yourself. She taught me to be an alcoholic, so what'd I do? Married alcoholic. She taught me to accept that I was so imperfect that I needed to be beaten. So what did I do? I married someone who beat me. She taught me to hide from everything. She taught me to hide. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. Because she told me one thing that made me realize I was different. She said, your first word was button. Button. Well, my mother sewed all the time. She never paid attention to me. Why would I say Mama or Daddy? Daddy wasn't there. So I said button. She never forgave me for that. And I thought, damn it, if I was that young and knew to say button, I could do this. And so I did. I became a workaholic. I went to school. I did everything in my power. I remember I came home, and I can't remember exactly what age I was, but my father was home, which was really unusual, and I got my report card, and I took it to him, and I showed it to him, and he threw it in my face and said, why aren't they all A+? Well, all but one of them was an A+, because I did all kinds of extracurricular work, so I'd get that plus. But not all teachers give a plus, and so one of them didn't, and that's what I got, was a report card in my face. Why aren't they all A+? My mother was as unreasonable, but my father, he was unreasonable partly because my mother was drunk. She didn't get along with him. They argued all the time. He was home. He couldn't wait to get another TDY, temporary active duty. That means he goes away for 3 months. And he took them all the time. If they asked, he said yes. He wanted to go. He went to Newfoundland. And then he'd come home with those great, big, massive boots on and kick the crap out of me. Come on. That doesn't make you become a calm and normal child. And then after I was raped, they never contacted me. They never had anything to do with me. And then they had to take me home. And they were so upset. They did not want me. Told me I had to sign paperwork to give them the permission to take him because nobody in that state was allowed to have a child under the age of 16, and I wasn't. I was 15. So I married, got away. I married the wonderful mother-in-law. God, I loved her so much. Her husband was a sweetheart, too. They were both so good to me. But their son wasn't. He just married me so that he could avoid the draft because he wanted to have a child right away. He knew I had a child, so he knew I could have a child, so he figured he'd get me pregnant, I'd have a child, and he'd avoid the draft. And that's what happened. He avoided the draft, and I was put out on the street with my child. He took the diapers, the baby food, the milk, everything. That kind of thing makes you again think, I'm not worth it. My parents were right. And you know what? The experts tell me you don't hate your parents. You hate yourself. You don't hate them because they convinced you it was you. Is that crazy? But you've probably heard the same thing. Maybe not from your parents, but I bet you've got friends who've gone through it. Oh, I'll bet you anything you've got friends that have gone through it. There are so many instances of one form or another of child abuse. Kids are tough to raise. It takes a lot of work. They're not like having a dog. They don't automatically come up to you and say, hi, mommy, 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 mommy. No, they cry. They scream. They pee their pants. They poo their pants. They roll off of beds and get hurt. You're told you did something illegal because you left him for 3 minutes to do something else that you had to do in your life, or your husband would have beat you. I mean, there's so many aspects to why you end up as a screwed up kid with a screwed up life. But not anymore. Married the right guy. Finally, 32 years ago, I married the right guy. Not by anybody else's standard. Oh, I mean, not that he wasn't handsome. Everybody thought he was younger than me, and he wasn't. No, he was plenty handsome. But he had PTSD from being in Vietnam and 5 other diseases they recognized, and some that they didn't recognize. And yet, for me, he's the perfect husband. And he had no money. He had no money. Had no job. And I married him. And we're good. We're really good. We're happy. It's been a rough ride. He's had 4 heart stents, 3 heart attacks, 5 strokes. He's on a wheelchair now, and I wouldn't change him for anybody in the world. Nope, not for a soul. Is he easy to live with? No, of course not. He has PTSD. But guess what? I have CPTSD. That's what you get when you have a really screwed up childhood. You get complex PTSD because it goes on for years and years and years and years. And what you're taught by your folks isn't what you need to know. And they were always sad because they didn't have any boys. And my mother talked about Rudy, the one who she did give birth to, but he didn't make it. Why didn't they adopt kids? I don't understand. They could have adopted. I'd had brothers. That would be not the best thing in the world. I mean, I would have been the oldest with a bunch of boys to take care of, because Mother couldn't have taken care of. Good God. She took my kid, and I had him back at 5.5 until about 15. Then he went back there because they bought him 7 cars to wreck. They just wanted a boy to spoil. Didn't me. I remember when she used to buy my shoes so big they'd flop on my feet, so you wouldn't have to buy them so often. I remember being told, no, you can't have that dinner. It's going to cost $3, even though we were sleeping in a tent, so we didn't have to use the money that was given to us by the government to have a hotel room. But nope, not going to spend $3 on Jackie. Nope, because we got to save it for retirement. Of course, Mother died, was it 3 or 4 weeks after she turned 65? Yeah, it wasn't a whole month. And Dad only made it for 4 years, not quite 4. So come on, but don't give it to the kid. That was the lesson learned. So send me people or you who've gone through the same thing. A crappy childhood, whatever it was. You come to me and talk about it, because I understand. Just like someone with drugs or alcohol problems, or someone who's got an addiction to shopping or overeating or whatever it is, you gotta talk to people who know what you're talking about, who can feel it right down to their soul. Every cell in their body feels it. So come and talk to me. School.com. I'm at, go to school.com/Summerland, SUMMERLAND, and it's SKOOL.com, SKOOL.com/Summerland. Go there and see what's going on, and meet me. Tell me what's going on with you, and we'll work together to help you. You can leave me a comment down below. You can come and meet me on Zoom. And you can talk to me. I'm not hiding. I'm not charging anything. And you can go down below and see the artwork that I do. Whatever you want to do. Just pass this word along. Let people know somebody else understands. Thanks for being here.